Hi, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Doni from The Glittered Rose. You can find me under that name over on Instagram. I would really love if you give me a follow over there. I'm trying to grow my Instagram. Today I thought I'd share with you this sweet spread that I've created in my small art journal. I really think it's lovely. There's lots of sort of collagey elements to create texture without using a lot of texture paste. And there was a reason behind that. I'll get to that in a minute. So for these images, I've used my Fiery Redheads collage sheet. You can find that in my Ko-fi shop. I've linked that in my description box, and it's also in my link tree. I'd love if you check out my collage, sorry, my Ko-fi shop. I've used those two images. I think that they go nicely together. I'll sort of give you a little rundown of my Ko-fi shop before we get into it. I've got lots of great collage sheets. So this is my brand new one. I'm going to call this Melancholy Blue. I love this sheet. They all look a little sad, so I thought they'd go together well that way. The Fiery Redheads, and then I'll just do a quick flip through. I'll zoom out my camera. I'll link my video up above for my an introduction to my Ko-fi shop, so to give you a little bit more information if you're interested. But there's lots of sheets and their individual images if you're interested. So this page features, I decided I'd challenge myself and do lots of texture without doing messy texture, because I think sometimes a lot of the messy texture can be a little bit daunting for newbies. So I thought I'd do, sort of like a beginner friendly um, spread that didn't require lots of messy texture paste and paints and inks. Something that just used some washi tape, some paper. There is some stenciling, but easy easy stenciling without the need of texture paste and things like that. So this is of any interest. Please be sure to stick around, hit the like button, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and let me know what you think down below if you like the sort of texture that I've gotten into the page without the need for for messy fingers. I think that the end result is really nice without, without having to get into a heap of mess. Okay guys, let's get into it. So I've popped the pages out of my small art journal and I've taped them down onto my glass mat using some better press tape. But you can use whatever tape that you have if you've got some washi tape, just something low tack so that it doesn't pull up on the paper. And here I'm just taping down some old book page, and this will just be the foundation of the background, just to add some interest and some texture. My distress brush desperately needs a clean. It's so manky. I certainly don't look after my brushes. So I'm just popping them down willy-nilly. I'm not worrying about where they go. This would just be the foundation of where they'll go. I'll just finish this up and then I'll be back. All right, I think that that's looking pretty good, and I found in the drawer this piece of paper from, I think this is an old Kaiser Craft um, scrapbook page, and there's some nice elements on that. So I'm going to roughly cut out, I wouldn't call it fussy cut because I'm not going to fussy cut, but this strip of music in the top here, I am going to just use my ruler and pull this across. This can be some details across the spread. I'll get rid of that. Oh. Use my grip mat. I was having a bit of trouble getting it to stay. And I'll pop it across the bottom there too. You need to remember when you're doing this sort of thing that it doesn't overly matter where the placement, where you put things, because by the time everything goes on, it's not overly obvious because things go on top of each other and, it's not all that clear where things go anyway. So okay, let's see what else is on this piece of paper. I'm going to cut out some butterflies now. Okay, so I'm not cutting them out perfectly, just loosely, and then I will gesso around them so that they look more like they're in the background rather than in the foreground. So just gluing it down. And I'll just cut out some more butterflies. I'll be back. Alrighty, I've just actually popped on another butterfly and I'm just cutting up a leaf and I'm going to glue that down. And then I'm going to give it a good dry off and I'll be back and we'll do our next step. So now I'm using the gesso and I am following those white spaces and blending the scrapbook and novel pages and blending it all together. So this method just blends it all together and pushes those pages backwards. So it really helps blends it all together and blurs it and makes it really cohesive. This way we're sort of firming up those white spaces and making it cohesive and making it all blend and work together. And you're sort of softening the focus so it really pushes it into the background and makes it look like it's one piece rather than making it look like it's, you know, I don't know, 10 pieces. It makes it look like it's one piece. I think it really is a clever technique. I hope you can see what I mean. It just really blurs the background and makes it come together rather than, looking like one piece here, one piece there, one piece there. It makes it look come together in all little separate pieces. So it softens everything and makes it all work together. So since I'm challenging myself to not have any messy paints or mediums, I'm trying to think how I can pop some interesting elements on this spread. So I think I'm going to pop some washi for some color and interest. So we'll pop some color on with some washi and we'll pop some washi on for the butterflies. And I think that they're really pretty. And I'll go digging in my little washi tub for some other colourful washi. I've got some lovely gold metallic washi here, which I've just ripped in sort of uneven strips. I don't want a lot, otherwise I think it could be quite tacky. Don't need a lot. I think there's sort of gold highlights in these images, even though home printers don't print gold. It's they do have that sort of gold look about them. So I think the gold will match nicely. And this one I think will match really nicely. This one's sort of a minty and gold color, so with a crosshatch pattern. And again, I don't want a lot. I just want a little bit on it, just to get the idea of it on there. So I'm just peeling it off into thin, uneven strips. Nice, it's looking good. It's looking pretty good. Okay, so I don't want to use anything too fancy or too messy, so I'm going to add a little bit of interest with just a simple stencil and a distress crayon. I think this is peacock feathers, and I'm just popping on, going over it with yeah, with a stencil, just to add a little bit of interest. And these are great. These you can go darker or lighter, just add a little bit of interest. And they're great because I can go over the washi tape, I can go over the paper, they'll go over everything, and they'll look great over the different layers. And they'll pick up the different metallics in the washi tape, and they'll still show up the print in the paper. And they don't make too much mess. So they still fit my guidelines for my challenge. That's looking pretty good. I like that. And the colours match really nicely for my picture. It's looking pretty good. I really don't use my distress watercolor pencils enough, so I'm going to grab one down. I'm not really even going to look at the color too much. This one looks like it is quite a naturally kind of a color. And I'm going to use that, and I'm going to wet it down. You okay? Give that a dry off. I think that's looking really nice. I don't want to overcomplicate it because I want to make it fairly beginner friendly. I'm just going to edge this just to frame it. I'm just using one of my distress crayons because I love these. I hope that Distress never stop making these. They're probably my favorite thing that they make. They're so creamy. Going around the edges just to frame it. It's funny, you never know what sort of washi tape you end up using. I think that the gold and the mint and gold washi tape I had for might have I don't think I even got it for card making. I'm not sure why I got it. It might have been for something, which I don't know. I think it may have crossed my mind multiple times to bin it. Don't think I ever thought I'd use it. Glad I didn't because it was perfect for this spread. Certainly not the sort of vintage-esque style I thought I'd ever use it for. Maybe I got it for planning because I thought I was going to be one of these planner girls, and I never was. That never worked out. I'm really liking how this is coming along. Just gluing down those main images and thinking about some embellishments. Might think about that and then yeah, I'll be back. So I really wanted to put a bee. At first I thought it was a butterfly, but I think it's actually a bee. So I wanted to put a bee/butterfly on it, and then it's too silver. So I thought I might pop some wax on it to turn it gold, but then I thought, well, it's too messy to put the wax on it because I can't get my fingers dirty because it's got to be a clean hand challenge. So why don't I get a Q-tip to make the bee gold? And I thought that was genius. That's a way to get around this challenge. So I'm using a Q-tip to keep my hands clean to turn this bee/butterfly. I really do think it's a bee. At first I thought it was a butterfly, but it's actually a bee. Um, to turn it gold, but keep my fingers clean. So I'm turning it gold. Um, and then I've got a gold button, and we might hot glue that down, and then I'll be back. Before I hot glued down the embellishments, I think I might go around my images with my Stabilo War, just so that the embellishments don't get in the way. So I'm just running around with my Stabilo War, um, and then melting that with some water. Sorry, just to frame it and soften it with the water. This just frames it and also just sort of minimizes that white paper edge that you get. And sort of grungies it up. I love the look of the Stabilo wall when it melts with the water. It gets that really sort of dirty, grungy look. It's a little inky, a little graphitey. Aren't these images beautiful? I have to say this sheet um, might be one of my favorite. My son doesn't quite understand why I make a lot of women images. Doesn't quite understand that women in art are a lot more appealing than men. It's sort of hard concept for him to grasp. All right, I'm going to finish this up and then we'll get on to the next step. Oh, I have to say I'm really loving this spread, even without all the texture paste and, you know, crackle medium and things. I think it's looking really lovely. Sometimes simple just works. All right, let's glue down these embellishments. And here we are all finished. I have to say I really love the end result. Even without all the texture paste and, you know, crackle medium, I think that it's just so lovely. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. Let me know down below which one's your favorite image. I hope that you check out my Ko-fi shop. I think that the sheet is just gorgeous. I really do offer a lot for $5 Australian a month. So be sure to have a look. I found my challenge quite challenging, but my hands turned out nice and clean. I didn't even have to rush and wash them, which is unusual for me. I really enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out my other videos. Leave me a comment and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I really appreciate everybody who leaves me a comment I love reading all your comments. Till next time, guys. Bye for now.